I'm praying that's the way that it goes. 'Cause right when I'm about to turn the doorknob, it seems it's all locked up and the key decomposed. Remind me this the life that I chose. Go full.
So we're sitting here today with Charmaine Olivia. She is a self-taught fine art painter born in Southern California, and she was raised by spiritual parents who started teaching her yoga and meditation when she was 4 years old. Charmaine began oil painting at 7 years old and has been a professional artist since she was 17. So you've had a career that started very early on. Did you always know that a paintbrush was going to be in your hand?
No, I actually wanted to be a marine biologist or an archaeologist when I was young. Art was just something I did for fun. I just loved it. And honestly, becoming a professional just sort of happened. It just sort of like evolved that way. I just was painting all the time and people just wanted to buy my work, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm an artist. Like, I don't have time for anything else. And I was actually a yoga teacher after high school. That was my training for years, was meditation, yoga, body-mind connection, emotions, all that kind of stuff, which definitely inspires a lot of my work too.
I see. Well, you paint lovely ladies. So where does your inspiration come from?
A lot of my inspiration comes from like inner experience. Since I was little, I used to go to these meditation camps in the summertime. It was like a week long, vegetarian food, morning and evening meditations when I was like 9 years old, which I know is not normal, but at the time it like was normal for me. And there was a lot of lessons on introspection and self-analysis and that sort of thing. And that really drives a lot of my creativity of kind of exploring your inner environment and then putting it in front of you. Like, for me, I'm a very introverted, kind of shy person, and painting really helped me kind of get to know myself, I would say, because I often had so many just like feelings and thoughts and dreams. I didn't know how to like process it or articulate it. And the more I painted, the more I felt like I got to understand myself and saw like who I was. Does that make sense? Because it wasn't so cloudy. It was like, oh, okay, I can sort of see who I am and like what my thoughts are and all of that. So it's almost more like a meditation for me, painting. Like, if it wasn't my job, I would do it anyway. It's like, I can't not do it.
Absolutely. Someone told me once that I should take a brush and paint my emotions.
Yeah.
And so I completely understand that. And they come out and everybody just has, well, they're lovely. Your work is lovely.
Thank you.
So I see that your work is actually in publications, museums, galleries, private collections all over the world. You have Urban Outfitters, Lady Gaga, Hallmark, Volcom, Stone, Band Shoes, Element, Nylon Magazine. So you've actually established a decent career for being a self-taught artist. I think that can give some people hope out there that feel that they spent fortunes on art classes and really not
totally necessary. For some people it's great. I just knew it wasn't really the path for me to go and study at college. I didn't feel it. If I don't feel it, I'm not excited by it, that's always my guidance. I follow my feelings a lot. And if something makes me feel like alive and exhilarated, I'm like, okay, I need to do that, you know? It's never led me astray.
When you allude amazing positive vibes, and so I see you as this, and I know the word strong, but as a great inspiration to other women that, you know, look to you as an inspiration and someone that is positive and giving a positive message. And so being on a UnitedNColor sofa, you know, what does color and unity mean to you?
I think art, for me, it's always been a form of therapy and introspection. And I really believe that everyone is an artist in their own way. Like, everyone has that creative impulse. It just manifests itself in totally different ways. For some people, it's numbers or, you know, furniture or, you know, anything, really. And so I think the more people are in touch with themselves and understand themselves, with that comes empathy to understand other people. And that's a huge problem on this planet right now, you know, just not understanding what other people are going through, not sympathizing and trying to put yourself in their shoes. I mean, you look at every corner of the globe and it's just like disasters and like horrible things happening, and it's like, it's overwhelming sometimes. It's like, I want to help, I want to do something. I feel helpless so much of the time. Like, I paint pretty pictures. Like, I move color around on a surface, and sometimes it just feels like, what's the point? Like, how does this actually affect anything? But then other times when I'm painting, I feel so connected to everyone and everything. It's like your sense of self disappears and you're just like one with this creative process that just feels like the whole world is part of this energy. And when I'm in those moments, I feel like, okay, we can all do something. You know, we all have this power and capacity to like want to heal and help and contribute. But it's hard to like stay in that feeling sometimes. You know, it's easy to feel like overwhelmed and daunted by all this stuff that's happening. And when I feel helpless, I'm useless. I can't do anything. I feel like, you know, this big, and like, who am I to do anything? I'm this tiny, like 5-foot person. Like, I can't do anything, you know? And that thought doesn't help anyone or anything. So I try to like stay strong in who I am and know that that like ripples out and other people like feel empowered by other people that are empowered. And I know it spreads. And when I think of that, it inspires me to just keep going and want to find projects and people that I can connect with and contribute in a meaningful way, because it's not just about paintings for me. You know, I've spent years kind of just getting to know myself, and I'm finally at a point where I'm like, okay, what can I do with this? What can I do with like my creative tools and my passion for wanting to contribute, you know? And I still don't exactly know what that looks like, but I'm like, I want to do something.
Well, I would say, what are some things that you would want people to know about you? Something different, something that maybe you don't ordinarily share about yourself.
Well, I'm kind of a huge nerd, like when it comes to like science fiction, Star Trek, video games. Like, I used to play a lot of online computer games, like anything fantasy related. I just love other universes and other realms, and that's a lot of what drives my work too, is imagining other universes. And whether it's like past civilizations, that is a big thing for me, like imagining Atlantis or the pyramids and the Egyptians. And we know nothing really about any of that, but my mind likes to imagine, like, what would art look like then? If I was alive back then, what type of art would I create? You know, in a golden age when everyone is civilized and peaceful and loving, like what kind of art would come out of that? You know, and I try to like imagine that for our future here, like when we're all in harmony with each other, working with nature, we're not competitive, we're working together. It's like, wow, like the world could be so cool. Just like the art that will come out of that when we're working together, it just like blows my mind to think about.
So if you could actually sit down then with one person, dead or alive, I know one, it's hard because we all have probably several, but somebody that you'd like to have next to you on the couch right now and have a heart-to-heart with, and kind of pick their brain and find out something about them. Who would that be for you?
I mean, I have a couple, but honestly the first that pops in my head is my dad. He passed away a few years ago, and I don't know, there's a lot that has changed in my life since then, and I would love to just ask him different questions that I wouldn't have thought to ask him back then. You know, he really influenced a lot of my life. A lot of the whimsicalness of my world is definitely inspired from him. He was kind of like Gandalf or Dumbledore, just wizardly sort of man. And I don't know, I would love to have more conversations with him. Besides him, Picasso. I definitely am inspired by him a lot. Just how much his work changed all the time. Like, I relate to that a lot, and it's comforting to see someone who can paint a realistic portrait, but he chooses not to, and I love that.
So I would say that you are overall quite an amazing woman. This has been a pleasure and an honor to be able to interview you and look at your work. I think you're going to have a grand opening in
December 2nd.
December 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all invited.
All invited.
All invited.
Especially Alice.
That's great. And you have fellow artists in your building.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we look forward to that. I look forward to your future and seeing the things that you've come up with. And I know you have prints for sale now also, so that's a treat for people.
Yep.
To be able to have prints, and it's really been a privilege. Thank you very much for sitting on the UnitedNColor sofa.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
This is a new print that I'm releasing on October 27th. It's going to be available on my website for 3 days. It's a time limited edition, so whoever orders in those 3 days gets a print. Very excited. I also have 3 other prints that I'm releasing with this Japanese company called Moon Crane Press. And these ones are printed on bamboo paper. This is called Earth Bloom. This one is called Soul Bloom. And then this one is Evelyn. And these will all be available on October 26th on their website.